And then something begins to happen. You begin to receive guidance, not always as a booming voice, often as a quiet knowing, often as a gentle nudge, often as a sense of not that and yes, this. And you learn that you do not need to predict everything to be safe. You can be guided moment by moment. And this is where your life begins to feel lighter, because you are no longer trying to carry it alone. Now, metaphysical consciousness is also where you begin to understand service differently. You stop trying to save people. You start trying to shine. You start trying to be stable. And you recognize that sometimes your most powerful service is forgiveness, prayer, compassion, or simply refusing to contribute to the collective panic. There is a teaching hidden in plain sight, practice, not conversation. It is not enough to read truth and admire it. You live it. You embody it. If you have only a small amount of peace today, you share a small amount of peace. If you have only a small amount of love today, you share a small amount of love. If you have only a small amount of patience today, you share a small amount of patience. You give what you have, and the giving expands you. And this is where the 144,000 mission becomes very real. Because you are here to be leaders, guides, and teachers, not necessarily through titles, not necessarily through stages, but through frequency. More awakenings are coming, and many newly awake humans will need steady hearts to mirror. They will need people who can hold space without superiority. They will need people who can explain things simply, kindly, and clearly, and that is you. And so, metaphysical consciousness is where you become the bridge. But the bridge is not the destination. The bridge is what carries you into the direct experience of the divine within, the state we call higher or super consciousness, where you stop merely believing in unity and begin to live it. Higher or super consciousness is not a personality upgrade. It is not spiritual bragging rights. It is not a badge that says, I am more advanced. It is the state where the sense of separation dissolves enough that you begin to experience a living relationship with Source, not as a concept, not as an idea, but as an inner reality. Now, many teachings describe a progression that sounds like this. At first, you feel like there is God and me. Then you begin to feel a companionship, a presence walking with you. Then you begin to sense that presence within you. And eventually, there comes a deeper realization where the old boundary collapses, and you know, in a way words cannot hold, that consciousness is one. That is why some teachings describe the movement from communion to union, until the sense of two is gone, and there is only the one expressing through you. But we want you to understand something important. You do not force this. You do not manufacture it. You do not strain for it. Higher consciousness is not achieved through spiritual aggression. It is received through surrender, through devotion, through willingness, through consistency, and through what we will call getting out of the way. Now, humans often misunderstand getting out of the way. They think it means disappearing, becoming passive, losing identity, becoming nothing. But what it actually means is releasing the false identity that thinks it must control everything. It means releasing the small I that believes it is alone. It means releasing the habit of injecting fear into every unknown moment. And so, higher consciousness feels like this. You begin to live with an inner trust that you are held. You begin to live with an inner awareness that guidance is available. You begin to live with a sense that you are not merely making decisions, you are being led into alignment. And yes, the mind will still exist, the body will still exist, you will still have preferences, but the center shifts. You are no longer ruled by reaction. You are ruled by presence. Now, for many of you, the first tastes of higher consciousness arrive as short moments. A moment of deep peace, a moment of awe at nature, a moment where the mind goes quiet and you feel something loving and vast, a moment where you stop judging yourself, a moment where you suddenly know what to do without logic. And you may doubt these moments. You may say, that was just my imagination. But we remind you, the heart recognizes truth. Some teachings describe this as something gentle arriving within you, like a small birth, like grace entering consciousness in a way you can barely grasp at first, and then, as you keep returning, it grows, it strengthens, it changes the whole quality of your life. And at first, you may want to tell everyone, but the wisest thing is often to let it be revealed by its effects, by the way you become kinder, calmer, clearer, more present. Now, we will also make this practical. Here is how you attain higher or superconsciousness in a way that does not become fantasy. 1. You practice stillness consistently, even when it feels boring. 2. You stop using meditation as a way to get outcomes, and you use it as a way to realize presence. 3. You learn to watch thoughts without fighting them. 4. You learn to return your attention gently when it wanders. 5. You cultivate devotion, not devotion to a person, not devotion to a guru, but devotion to the inner truth itself. Now, a very common human struggle is this. You sit down to meditate, and you discover the chaos inside your own mind. The mind throws you grocery lists, worries, random memories, anxieties, fears, and you think, I can't do this. But the teaching is simple. Do not be afraid of the thoughts. Do not fight them. Many of them are world thoughts, collective broadcasts. Watch them like clouds. Stop feeding them with belief. Keep returning. And slowly, the quiet underneath becomes accessible. And then, something beautiful begins. You begin to feel an inner companionship, an inner I am with you that is not your imagination. And that I am with you begins to guide you in practical ways. It guides you to rest. It guides you to speak truth. It guides you to forgive. It guides you to act when it is time to act. It guides you to wait when it is time to wait. And you begin to understand that the highest intelligence does not rush. The highest intelligence does not panic. The highest intelligence knows how to make the crooked places straight without you burning yourself out, trying to manage everything. Now, higher consciousness is not escapism. It does not mean you pretend the world is perfect. It means you stop being hypnotized by appearances. You begin to see that many outer dramas are expressions of consciousness, and when consciousness changes, outer reality reorganizes. This is why the highest masters could look at fear and not be controlled by it. Not because they were careless, but because they were anchored in a deeper truth.